What you think about his response? Call.
Carl is a nice kid.
But in order to?
Everybody can't be Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, natural born killers.
But everybody can have that mentality.
Yeah, that's not true. Shaq, you are one of the greatest.
If you're going to be great, it's about mentality.
Shaq, but everybody's not built the same.
Okay.
Like, it'd be nice to say everybody just want to be killed. Some guys, they're great players who are nice people.
Okay, but hold on, let me stop you. Scott Skiles had a killer mentality.
But Scott Skiles had to be that. Or he wouldn't have been in the NBA.
You're right.
You cannot make a nice guy mean. You either born with it or you're not.
No, I think what happens also is his skill level has taken him so far.
That's been my only criticism of him.
Mine too.
But he's a nice guy, Shaq.
He is a nice guy.
Remember, because I have the same argument with Jared Allen. I think Jared Allen should be one of the 10, 15 best players in the NBA. He's just not a killer. He is a really good player. But like I say, you can't, describe.
In the finals, right? Kenny told me in the game, y'all better stop doubling me. Because his mentality said, you keep doubling me and leaving me open, I'm going to hit the shot.
Hello and welcome to another Sports Spin, where we take a sports story and we spin it. I'm Sun-EB7 and thank you for joining. Yeah, so this one is about, it's kind of like the other video. It's about Shaq and Kenny and Barkley when Shaq interviewed K.A.T. Now, I saw, a lot of times I don't get to see everything as it goes the whole entirety. I have to come back to it because of the things I'm doing. And so this was one of them cases where I saw Shaq interview K.A.T. I didn't see Barkley's response until later. And it was funny because the conclusion I came to when Shaq was talking to K.A.T. was almost identical to Barkley's. I was like, "This is a nice guy. Where you want? He doesn't have it." If you're old enough to have kids and they grow up, that's the first. I've seen this many, many, many times. We look back at our kids and we know we had that instinct. We know we was going to prove to the world, but your kids don't have that. So when Shaq is talking to K.A.T., it kind of reminded me of my son. My son he was faster than me. That's the only person in my family on either side that's ever been faster than me. He ran 11,600 meter at 13 years old. I still haven't run 11.6. I could run a 4.33 40, but I didn't run no 11.600 meter. And so, but when I talked to him, he wanted to play football. So he's got all the intangibles. He was awesome. He was like, watching him, I got excited. Now, in a different way, almost like you're seeing something you haven't seen before. But you're looking at him and he's doing things where you like, no, you gotta, this what you do when that happens. And you explain it to him and you could just see blank. They almost wondering why you think like that. And you're trying to tell them, no, this is how you have to. No, they don't have that. And so when Shaq was talking to K.A.T., he had that same attitude. He's like, no, but you gotta do this. And K.A.T. was like, yeah, I understand. And Shaq was like, but no, you got to do it. Yeah, we all got to do it. I'm over here cracking up because I'm like, he's not where you are, Shaq. He doesn't have that. And so after that, I listened to what Barkley said, and he said the same thing. You cannot make a nice guy mean. He's either got it or he don't. It's inside. When you think about all the other players that had it, they had some form of feeling slighted in some way, shape, or form. And it gets worse. Some of them, some of us come from families where they build that up. Whether you get overlooked or you always have to get the blame, or you always have to do the chores. You know, whatever it is, it builds this thing up that make you want to show people that you're not to be messed with. And it builds this fire, and that fire builds as you growing. And a lot of times you go to the court, the diamond of baseball, the football field, and you take it out on people there. They don't know that's what you're doing. Your meanness, your determination, and all that stuff is coming from home. A lot of times. So when you get out there, and not just that, you get at games and courts and you get picked last, or you get overlooked, or people think you can't play, and it makes you say, yeah, I'm gonna make you never say that again. It builds that in you. Well, you're not doing that to your kids. Your kids, you're working so hard to make sure they never have to go through what you went through. So guess what? The fire never get lit. There is no pilot. You had a desire to be the greatest. They have a want to be the greatest. Completely different. If you look at the fire in Jordan and Kobe, and then you look at today's player, the best player of today, Steph Curry, one of them. Look at him. He's like, yeah, I shoot threes all day. Yeah. You're not going to get Curry to say he's going to destroy any other team every time he see him. He ain't going to do it. He's going to do it, but he's not going to say it. He's not going to think it. He's just going to do it. By the way, Curry would be today's killer. He's more of a killer. He has that, because he's been slighted. He's 6'3". They tell you, oh, he's really 6'1". When they name the top guards, they never mention him. They don't mention him till shooting. CP3 is the point guard. This dude's shooting. You got to hold him in the parking lot. But CP3 is the point guard. Yeah. So he's getting slighted every chance you get. So yeah, he has that. Curry has it. He's a lot nicer with it, but he does have it. I would say, well, I won't get into how many people has it, but Curry is one of those. But it's kind of smoothed over in today's game. Like, for instance, LeBron. LeBron is a phenom. Like, you'll never see that again. And the dude, there's no way you put that kind of skill and talent in a guy that big. But they did. He's like a science project. But stand him next to Kobe and Jordan. Put Jordan on one side and Kobe on the other. He's not there. He's talented as they are, but he's not there. Those two, they take offense to him. And he thinks, well, we all good. No, they don't think that. They think, oh, yeah, they got that top dog mentality where LeBron doesn't have that. He more has like K.A.T. They have businessman mentality instead of the killer instinct. And back to what I said about what families do to you to give you that edge. I'm not saying mistreat your kids. I'm not saying do any of that. I'm just saying that those are leading factors to people doing what they do. There's a lot of times a guy will come from home. I'm not telling you what I heard. There's a lot of times a guy will come from home. He will be pissed mad, but he doesn't show you. He's out there playing. And the minute you trigger him, everything that happened before he got to that court or that field or that diamond is going to come out right there. He's not going to tell you. He's just going to take it out on you. It's not personal. It's just, I'm tired of this and I can't hit them back. So yeah, but you can't, today's parents have to find a more creative way of motivating their kids. They just got to be creative. It's a little tougher because, what do you do to make them feel like they're slighted? Because I don't know for sure, but I feel like that's the only way you can get that kind of fire in you, I think. I mean, when you look at boxing, Tyson, Ali, when you look at different sports, the top, the best, all of them has been mistreated in one way, shape, or form. it's a lot in there. In my opinion, it is. The guys I played against, or the guys I've even seen, there's some attitude there. In fact, when I first met K.D, he was 19. He just got picked up by the Timberwolves, and he used to go to 18 Plus Club, and we was going to one next to it. It was 21 or 25. I think it was 25 plus. KD would be outside talking to his friends or something, or not even doing that. He'd just come outside, and we're walking by, and we talked to him. And so we started talking to him on the night that they had that. It was like a Wednesday or a Tuesday or something. And I remember thinking, man, that's the best kid I've ever. Man, that kid is so, he was so respectful, and so he was very articulate and respectful, and he knew where he was going, and he knew he had his plan, and we just enjoyed talking to him, me and my homie. Yeah, I seen him in the NBA, and I said, that ain't the KD I met. That dude is like, I think he want to fight coming out of the tunnel. So, or coming out of the tunnel. So, he had that. It didn't sound like it when we talked to him, but when you saw him on the court, you realize, oh yeah, he has it. He has that edge. And that edge is what gets you to where you got to go. So, K.A.T he's not coming from that. He's not coming from those type of environments. So he's a gentle giant. Shaq ain't gonna be able to do nothing with him. If he win it, he's gonna win it because he was the best that day, but he's not gonna win it because of how Shaq want to see a big man. In fact, I remember Shaq when he was at LSU. He marked his calendar for Christian Laettner. I didn't know who Shaq was at the time. I was watching mostly Big 12 basketball. And outside of that, I've watched North Carolina and Duke and stuff like that. And I think that's how I picked it up. I was watching North Carolina and Duke and some of their, the ACC games. I used to watch the Big East. And Shaq marked his calendar when they played against Duke. And I was like, oh, who is this? And they showed some highlights or whatever. And at the time, I didn't know about Shaq because I knew about Chris Jackson, who's now Mahmoud or something like that. But his name, that was his name at LSU. And this dude was a beast. So I was like, man. And when I saw Shaq, I just thought, man, that's going to be the best team ever assembled. I think back then that was Kenny Anderson was over at Georgia Tech. But either way, Shaq did that, and I saw that, and I was like, oh yeah, this dude's going to be box office. And the rest is history. He is box office and have been. So, I went through that with my son, trying to tell him, you have it, so use it. Go ahead and take it personal and do what you need to do, even what you don't. But it just went by him. He just plays football. He wasn't like us. He don't step onto a football field saying, I'm about to change everybody's mind. He ain't gonna do that. He just come out and he say, well, I'm playing football. He could be the best one on there. It don't matter to him. So I find it funny when I see somebody else going through it because I'm like, yeah, I went through that. A lot of us have. I've heard other people in the past talk about when their kids are growing up, how they don't take it the same way. It's not personal like that. So, you find ways to motivate them. They're going to be the best they can be for who they are. You don't want them to be you because you don't know if they can handle what you handled to get like you were. It doesn't always go good when there's those kind of conditions. Sometimes it can go really bad. So you have to be thankful for them. I like gentle giants like K.A.T. I actually look at him and think, I'm sure he was never not picked. He was never told he couldn't play. He didn't have to go through all that. So now he's like more of a business guy, and I'm gonna be a center, and you go ahead, and, the guard, you take over and you do what you do. But I'm gonna get mine, but I'm gonna do it nicely. And that'll drive an older guy crazy. But he is a good young man. So I'd rather that than him to be mean and be the best in the NBA, to be honest. I know sometimes we can all seem bloodthirsty, but at the end of the day, you want him to have a good life. You've seen what happened to others, and you want him to use that to build the rest of his life and not just an NBA career. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember, this sports story has been spun. Take care.